her Statton-Williams. She is running in Cabarrus County. So she's running for House in District 73. So we had a couple volunteers out who were helping on a school board campaign. And again, in this country, you have freedom of speech. You get to do these things. And Miss Williams went down to a magistrate and she said, I feel threatened because this woman has stared at me. I am not kidding you. The complaint complains about this woman staring in about 3 different places. So here's what we wrote. The same day that Miss Statton-Williams went on her own constituent, because she's on town council now. This is her own constituent. Homeschool mom. So Twitter, she takes to Twitter. I love all you guys. I'm here for my constituents, and I'm never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down. I'm never going to run around, desert you, and I'm never going to tell a lie and hurt you. She broke that damn campaign promise like that because she deliberately and willfully hurt one of her own constituents. Now, the judge kind of agreed with me in that she didn't have any evidence, right? But this is a pattern for her, and this is a pattern of totalitarian dictators. Look, we've got several sources that have come to us and said, this woman, Statton-Williams, has absolutely terrorized people with whom she disagrees with by sending a deluge of emails to employers of her colleagues who disagree with her, alleging racism. Racism is a serious thing, and if it actually happens, it needs to be punished. There's no question about that. But according to these reports, these have been false claims, and it has really hurt people a lot. We're seeing that she's willing to go down to court and take out what's called a 50C. So I want to talk to you guys about that. We have seen this happen all over the state. Journalists have seen it. Our team has seen it. A 50C is this. And actually, these are quite serious. Okay. A 50C means this is you go down if you're being stalked or seriously harassed. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And you can get a ex parte or a temporary emergency restraining order. They don't always give them. Okay. Only if the magistrate agrees that, they err on the side of caution. Okay. They'll err on the side of caution. Sometimes they'll give them, sometimes in this case, they didn't. But guys, I'm not talking about, if somebody is driving by your house, if they're watching you at events, following your events, tracking your events, threatening to harm you. I've dealt with that. We've dealt with that. That's a serious thing. That's what this is made for. But sometimes people will try to intimidate you and take these out to silence you. And what happens is you will have to go to court, and the judge is the mediator, sometimes a lawyer, but the judge is a mediator, and will say, look, protected speech it's sacrosanct in this country. You may not shut it down. So basically what Diamond Statton-Williams and others abuse this, they want the government to come in and silence speech on one side or the other. So people who do this and abuse the system, that's called censorship. Marxist totalitarians do that. Law enforcement, they're familiar with these kind of tactics. They deal with it all the time. Here's where they deal with it when it's abused, by the way. I'm not saying it's not needed. It's absolutely needed in certain circumstances. But see, this happens a lot to rape victims where they'll be raped or sexually assaulted. And immediately the perpetrator will go out and take a 50C out. Why? So they can continually abuse this person, this victim, and silence them. That's why we're working to make this unlawful. We've had an instance where folks have sent me neo-Nazi propaganda. They have sent things to my home. We've been very open about this, and then done the same thing to me to silence me. So this is a tactic that we are seeing coming up. And I believe that the NCAE and others, certainly the Democrats, are going to try to do this to intimidate and threaten us. So here's what we can do. First of all, we're going to help everyone who is going through this. We have set up a legal fund. We've got our first $25,000 in that legal fund, and we are going to help folks not only defend themselves, but take the next step. So we've got a 3-step process that we are going to do. First of all, we are going to collect information from all of you. Wherever this is happening, we want to know. Number one, we're going to expose the people who are abusing the legal system. Legitimately, like if you're doing something wrong, do not call us. But if this is being abused, right, and a judge finds that that is the case, there's something you can do after, and it's called abusive process lawsuit. We're going to pay for those, because if someone knowingly abuses the system and they're doing it for an alternative means, in other words, let's say they take out cyber stalking charges on you or what have you, and it's not merited. And then they turn right around and they tell everyone in your life, she's a criminal. She's a criminal. And then you're acquitted or found not guilty or whatever. You can think maybe I haven't done anything wrong and they're doing it. Maybe they took these charges out to humiliate me. Well, there's massive damages in something like that, abusing the court system. So first of all, back to the first step, we're going to expose the folks who are politically going after each and every one of us. We're allowed in this country to peacefully protest and to express our opinions about politics and have spirited debates with anyone, right? We're allowed to do that. We're not going to be intimidated. We're not going to back down. So we want to go to the community members where these abusers are doing this, to the public. Everyone in the specific community needs to know that, hey, Sally or Jane or Paul, they're abusing the legal system and it might happen to you. How are we going to do that? Maybe if it's political, it's direct mailers. We'll drop 20,000 mailers in their area and let everyone know this is what this person does. This is political. This is what this person does, right? We will certainly work with our media partners, and we have a lot to make sure they're exposed. Why? It is a public service to let people know that there are political petty tyrants running around, and just because they don't like what you have to say politically, that they're going to shut you down. Everyone needs to know. It's everyone's business. Secondly, we are going to aggressively help people fight. We're going to raise money to make sure that they get the opportunity to sue for damages if it is warranted. We are not lawyers. We don't even have legal services at all. But if you have one and it's warranted and you're really being abused, because these things, I mean, it's emotional for a lot of people. It can damage your reputation. It can damage your standing in the community, especially if these abusers are going around telling everyone. It can cost you money. It can cost you your job. We're going to make sure that we fight back, and we fight back hard. So, abusive process. The other side will have to hire their own lawyer to fight that charge, and then they'll understand maybe that, hey, I'm going to settle my differences civilly rather than abusing the legal system. And then finally, we have contacted and are in talks for the past month with several public interest law firms who are very keen on preserving the rights of free speech. When the legal system is abused, like I believe it has been in Cabarrus County, like I believe it has been in other places, that's everybody's business. That's censorship. That's everybody's business. Everybody needs to know and fight. So public interest lawyers are lawyers that come in and they can take things all the way to Supreme Court. Now, what's really good for public interest lawyers are appeals, right? Because if you're in the political realm, and I know this sounds scary and terrible, but I guess it's the world we live in today. But if you know, a jury or a judge doesn't find for you, on appeal is really politically where you really make your bones, because in the appeals court, which will uphold your constitutional rights, that's where this stuff starts getting really publicized, and a lot of attention and a lot of case law gets made at that level. So what I'm here to tell you is, do not be afraid. They want you to be afraid. They want you to cower. They want you to stop fighting. They want you to stop speaking. They want to intimidate you. All of us, we're law-abiding citizens, right? We don't do anything to warrant this kind of abuse. Okay. Shelley, a public record. Yes. That's another thing, Shelley. The thing that's really terrible is that when someone goes and makes allegations against you, by the way, a 50C, a requirement is that two things. Number one, you have to have broken a law. So let's say I have broken a law by following someone or whatever. Okay. Broken a law. And then the person has to be terrified. So those two things happen. If you know those things haven't happened, right, then maybe you don't have a case, right? Just saying. If you're doing it for that reason, if you're legitimately worried, that's totally different. So, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to know the law. I'm dumb about law altogether. But we have been talking for the last 2 months with lawyers who are very good at this and are seeing this is kind of a pattern, right? This is kind of pattern here. They are bullies. It is horrible. So back to Shelley, I don't even think I told you, a public record. Yes, unfortunately, this is public. When someone goes and makes these complaints, it is public. And for a lot of us, we're like, wow, okay. This has been done to me in bad faith, and it's public, and everybody's going to find out about it. Right? But I want you to know that they'll have their fun. Right? But if what they're doing is in bad faith and not proper and like a coordinated political attack, there are recourses. And I want to tell you that we are here for you. We are here for you. We are coming together in ways that we've never come together before. And I know we're talking about Democrat craziness, and Democrats are this is what their playbook is. We have some Democrats who have done this to each other and who are actually talking to us and giving us legal help on this front, because it's wrong to do it no matter what party that you're in, right? So just to recap tonight, Democrats losing their damn mind. They're at the polls trying to stir up controversy and trying to call the police and lawyers and drag people into court. Not cool. Out east, they're looking to have 2 connections on the school board in Pitt County that have the direct pipeline from the classroom to the clinical treating room and maybe to the operating room. And then we got a woman that's cray in Martin County. Her name's Amy Swain. That she's like, the country's racist, schools are racist, etc., blah, blah, blah. But she's the racist. Do you want to know why? The learning loss problem that affected Black and brown students the most. She's blowing it off and saying, why are we worried here, folks? What we need here is love. Upward mobility is guaranteed through education. That's what gets all people out of poverty. That's a great equalizer. So we need to figure out ways to, real plans, right? To actually get past this learning loss. I recommended cutting out the social emotional learning right off the bat. Let's get right back to the basics, right? Bam, bam, bam. A lot of our people are advocating for that, but we need real policies right now. And so lastly, I'm going to tell you again, email us, text us, hit us up, edfirstnc.org. Sign up for the newsletter if you have not already, but I'm telling you, you need to contact us. There are strength in numbers, and we have a lot of numbers. We are not going to let you guys be bullied. We're not going to have it. We're going to stand up for our rights. Kelly, if you were here, I would hug your neck. Thank you. Donations, go to edfirstnc.org. That's EDFIRST nc.org. And there's a donation button, and you just mash that button. Okay, just press that donation button. Yeah, we need the donations. We need to expose and hold accountable. We will not be coward. It's not going to happen. Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in. Share this. Let everybody know this. Stand strong, right? And understand this is part of, look, if they ask you with this, tell yourself, well, it's a Monday, right? I mean, this is part of doing what we do. All right. I hope you guys have a great night, and we're going to update you probably on Wednesday night. All right. Happy Halloween.